Hello, and welcome back to WesteroScraft Walks. I'm your host, Chris the Archer, and today we will be exploring the harbor town of Duskendale. Right now, I'm wearing a Crownlands-inspired Gardener skin, because I love House Gardener, and making skins for each individual house is a bit much. But let's get started. We have a lot to explore. Right now we're at the end of the Rosby Road. If you go south, you'll pass Edgerton, Rosby, and eventually get to King's Landing, but we won't be going south. We will be going north and exploring some of the settlements outside of Duskendale. So let's go over to the right here. Over on the left, we have a small sept with a graveyard. We'll be going back and exploring that sept later. And over on the right, here are some of the fields that produce the food to feed the town of Duskendale, and some of the farmhouses for the farmers. So let's talk about Duskendale. Duskendale is located north of King's Landing at the end of the Rosby Road. Formerly the seat of House Darkland, it is now the seat of House Rykker, ever since the defiance of Duskendale. I'll talk more about both houses in the next two episodes. During the Age of 100 Kingdoms, the Darklands ruled Duskendale as petty kings. Their domains once extended to Cracklaw Point, but control over their territory was never secured. At times, Duskendale fell under the rule of the Storm Kings of House Durrandon as they expanded their kingdom to the north. A Darkland king during the Andal invasion drove Togarian Bar-Emin out of the northern Blackwater, which is how he came to conquer Stonedance, as I mentioned in my last video. Eventually, the Andal king Benedict II of House Justman added Duskendale to his kingdom, but the Justmans were destroyed by the Ironborn under Halleck Horror, who claimed land as far as Duskendale. So in the distance, we can see a palisade with some wooden towers. That is where some of the poorer residents of Duskendale lived. Let's continue on here. There's some windmills on our right. A miller probably lives by here, but we'll check that out later. Over here we have a cart full of plants. We'll explore these buildings later, but let's continue up this path to this small manse over here. It's a small one. Maybe a merchant or a distant relative of House Rykker lives here. Back here we have a well and an entrance to the kitchens, but it's blocked, so we'll have to go around. Here's a nice garden out in front with some blue and white flowers, the colors of House Rykker. And on the left we have stables for whenever the residents of the manse want to ride out. This room over here is probably for the horse master. It's a small room. On the other side, we have this small garden. This tiered design looks very similar to the gardens of the Red Keep. There's a small selection of flowers. Over here we have a small area where the residents can eat and enjoy the shade outdoors. But let's go inside the manse and see what's inside. Let's go in through the main door, and on the left we have a dining room with the banners of House Rykker and the Lannister Baratheon one in the center. Over here we have the kitchen with a nice hare being roasted. This door leads to that outer area we saw earlier. There's a small garden with carrots, turnips, and cabbages. Over here, it's a small chicken coop and an area for this. I think that's where the waste from that privy ends up. We'll go upstairs in a bit, but let's just take a look at this solar. There's a window with a nice view of the outdoors. Let's go downstairs before we go upstairs. Here's looks like a small storage area, and over here we have a wine cellar that's also a larder as well. You can see some of the sacks of grain and other supplies. Now let's go up to the second level where the residents would live. This would be the owner, the master bedroom. Here, there's a desk, and here's the privy that we saw earlier. It's a desk, a bed, a shelf. It's a pretty big room. Over here we have a bathroom, the bathtub for the residents, and these two rooms are just normal-sized rooms. I think maybe a knight of House Rykker or another relative who didn't want to live at the Dunfort. Up here is the servants' quarters. It's not a lot of beds here, but I don't think the residents would need that many servants in the castle or manor or manse. Well, let's go back and take a look at some of the surrounding lands around this manse. Let's go back and take a look at this place. So I don't know what this would have been, but I think it is related to the production of beer and ale, because this is a basket of hops which is used in the process. And if we cut through here, we have these windmills. These ones turn in the direction of the wind, so the flour, they can keep grinding grain into flour. So here's where the grindstone would crush the grain, and if we go up, we'll see more of the mechanism. This is the shaft attached to the blades of the windmill. So let's go back outside. Let's continue on. Here we have a spare grindstone next to where the miller would live. Just some small accommodations, maybe the miller and the miller's family, or maybe the miller has some people working for him that they would also live in this complex of houses. So, as we make our way down, I'll talk about Duskendale during the reign of the Targaryens and the main series. So, after Aegon's conquest, Duskendale became part of the Crownlands, which are under direct Targaryen rule. However, by this time, the port began its slow decline due to the power and influence of the new capital of King's Landing. King Jaehaerys I stopped at Duskendale during his first royal progress. Years later, his son, Aemon Targaryen, distinguished himself in the lists at Duskendale and was granted knighthood. During the Dance of the Dragons, the Green Army of Aegon II marched on Duskendale twice. It was also at Duskendale where Queen Rhaenyra sold her crown for passage to Dragonstone. Like I said earlier, I'll talk about the Defiance of Duskendale in future episodes, so let's skip to Duskendale in the main series. In A Storm of Swords, Roose Bolton orders Robert Glover, Helman Tallhart, and Harrion Karstark to march on Duskendale. They are defeated by Lord Randall Tarley and Sir Gregor Clegane. In A Feast for Crows, Brienne of Tarth stops at Duskendale while searching for Sansa Stark. And that is all we know of Duskendale through A Dance of Dragons. So let's take a look at this small sept here. It's nothing fancy. There's the bell and the small statues of the 7 gods. Of course, there are no candles next to the stranger. Out here, there's the graveyard, and I think now is a good time to find a bed for the night. Tomorrow we'll go into the walls of Duskendale and start looking around at the port. So that's what we will do. Duskendale is so massive that I won't be going into every single building, so I kind of just went ahead and planned my way through some of the buildings and businesses within the walls. But here we are approaching the southern gate of Duskendale. There's a drawbridge. There you can see the Rykker banners alongside the King's Landing banners. Let's cross this dry moat into this barbican and continue into the town itself. So if we go over here, we have a staircase leading up to the gatehouse for soldiers to man the walls in the event of a siege. But let's go back down and continue through this marketplace. We have a lot of business here. There's a butcher on the right, a fishmonger over here, someone selling chickens, mushrooms, cheese, it looks like, and some fresh produce. Here, I believe this is where like people would pay like a fee to set up shop. And if we go back here, we go to this clerk's office, and I think this is like a courthouse of sorts, so like the judges would sit here and dispense justice to whoever is standing on that small podium. If we go back outside and down the stairs, we'll see a wheelhouse belonging to House Rykker. It's a it's a spacious one, enclosed of course, with window shutters and some of those gate doors making up the walls and doors of the wheelhouse. But let's continue on, and let's go this way. There's the marketplace, and if we go down here, over here is an apothecary. Let's go take a look inside. It's a modest apothecary, so out there's the garden, and here's the small living space of the shop owner. There's a small bed for their child, and the main bed for the apothecary and his wife. So let's go back down. I think I'll go out the back. So over here, it's a modest garden surrounded by other gardens where some of the other residents grow vegetables. This building is a blacksmith. I think it's just a, they produce weapons here. You can see there's a chain on the anvil. And this is the residence of the blacksmith, just a few barrels. There's a lot to explore, so I'll just move on. Here we have more houses and gardens, and a sign for a pot shop that's in that building. This building here is a butcher's shop, and I imagine this butcher is very rich because his shop and his living space is pretty big. So over here, this is the different pens the butcher would keep his livestock. And in this building, this is where he would store some of the meat. And if we go back here, this is where he would cure them with salt. So let's go back out and continue on our way. This building over here, this is a sour leaf producer, and we have the Duskendale Brewery over here. What's in this building? It looks... Actually, let's just go back out and explore this main area first. So this is where anyone who wants to buy from the brewery would go. They would probably talk with the owner, sample some of their beer and ale, and up here we have a big room maybe for the owner, and up here it's a smaller room with just straw and a small table, maybe for some of the people who work at the brewery. If we go here, it's just a walkway into that storage room from earlier. Oh, there's a scale. They must be weighing some stuff, and back here we have some firewood storage. So let's keep going. There's some barrels that they're storing, and some empty barrels, which will soon be filled by the whatever is in these vats. I'm not an expert in brewery, but I believe this is where they would distill beer and ale, and using the hops that I talked about earlier from that one building outside that manse. This building over here is grain storage for the brewery. They have to keep their the supplies that they use to make beer and ale somewhere. There's nothing really up on this third level, so maybe they're receiving a shipment. So there's one of the many entrances into Duskendale. If we go further there, we'll go to a fish market, but here there's a bridge that leads to a lower class area that I'll go to in a bit. But let's make our way down here. So here we have a carpenter, a dentist, and a tanner, and this gate takes us out to the harbor. You can see the Dun Fort in the distance. Let's go over here and take a look at the walls. So this, this tower, it's one of the watchtowers of Duskendale. There's some beds for the guards, and over here we have the walls and another entrance that goes to the poorer area of Duskendale, the part that is behind that palisade wall that we saw yesterday. Let's go back down and explore the harbor. There are just so many buildings, so I won't be going into a lot of them, but I encourage you to check them out. I've just joined a server, and it should be /warp Duskendale. Here is a crane that is unloading a ship, and it doesn't look like there's a way for us to get on that ship, but this one has a ramp. Sorry, I did not need to place a torch there. So there's the hold. Probably the it's an ale merchant with some barrels. You can see that they would have unloaded here, and there's his warehouse where he would keep his supplies. But let's go back here and take a look at that poor area of Duskendale. It's full of fish vendors, and another apothecary. But in this building here, we have a rat pit, which is a form of entertainment for some of the lower class as citizens. Like there's a lot of them in Flea Bottom and King's Landing, but it looks like Duskendale has some too. And over here we have another pot shop. Of course, this one is run by the Faith, so I imagine they use more desirable ingredients than the pot shops of Flea Bottom. But let's continue. So let's continue past this ship and the ale merchant, and let's go take a look at the Fishmongers Guild. So if we go through this gate here, we go into a large square that has a covered area for fishermen to sell fish. You have a fish net, some fish, and there's a sign. And here is the Fishmongers Guild. Let's see what's inside. We'll go upstairs in a bit, but here, this is where they would, I guess, make speeches, or I don't know what they would do here, but there's a scale for weighing fish. And if we go upstairs, we just have more of the offices. There's a bench with an overhang, and here is where they would, this is a meeting hall where they would talk about maybe like some stuff about fishing. Let's go out, and it's already night, so let's go find a place to sleep. This, I believe, is someone's business. I don't know what would be here. Maybe this was a bank, or this is a banker, or maybe someone who deals with wealth. Let's go upstairs. So here is a work area. We have some desks, a table, a small place to prepare food. And if we go one more level up, we should have some beds. And this one looks comfy for the night. So we'll continue tomorrow and explore more of the buildings along the port. Let's just go back down. So let's go back through the Fishmongers Square. Maybe let's go into this warehouse instead of going out the main gate. Let's get some light in here. So this warehouse just has a bunch of fruits. It looks like baskets of fruits. Maybe someone who makes jam unloads, or they store their wares here, and they lift it into these sections. Here's some lemons, but they lift it by crane through these openings here. Let's just jump down, and I don't see a sign, so that's my best guess. Over here, it looks like we have cheese. We have some use of like rubble and some frosty slabs to kind of show like the different types of cheese. Here we have some barley. Maybe this is a this is a wine merchant. So there would be barrels here for the wine merchant. And next door we have a grain silo, 2 grain silos. This is where a lot of the grain that's being imported to Duskendale would be stored. And if we go up, there are these doors, and this is where they would fill the silos. And we have some sand to make it look like it's full. I wonder if there's a way to get into this warehouse. There's more barrels for the wine merchant, and here's a staircase with an entrance to the grain silos. But there, let's go over and take a look. Here's another silo, and let's take a look at more of the warehouses. Here are some more silos for grain, and if we go, let's go back down. We just have some more areas. Oh, this is this looks like like one of the old walls that originally Duskendale was built behind. Let's see if we can find a way around. It doesn't look like there's a way around. So those walls have been left to crumble, and as you can see, residents have built homes and shops around these walls. Here's a way. So let's go through, and as you can see, some of these houses use some of the wall as part of their foundation. Let's try and find our way up. So yeah, like here, this wall, I didn't get that. Some vines, yeah, like these, the old walls are still here, and some of them are built into some of the newer buildings. So let's jump down, and let's take a look at this square before we go back to the port and end the video. So here's a small fountain with that provides some drinking water. You can see the sept in the distance, and we will explore that in the next episode. Here we have, it looks like the dock master or the harbor master might have some people collecting port fees under that building, and this warehouse goes back to that one of the grain silos, or the warehouse with the grain silos. Let's just take one look at this ship. Maybe we can go in the hold this time, and here's a ladder. So here's the bunks for some of the crew with some of the barrels underneath. Here's a galley where they would make food for the sailors. And towards the front we have more baskets and barrels in the main hold, and an area where they would put the barrels there. Let's go take a look at the captain's cabin. It's much more spacious than on the other ship. Let's try to climb. There's a ladder here, so maybe we can go take a look what's at the top. And I guess it doesn't look like there's a spot for us to climb further, but let's at least try. I guess not. Let's just climb down from the rigging here. Again, there's a lot I haven't explored with Duskendale, so you can go check it out for yourself. Join the server, and it's /warp Duskendale. We explored the port of Duskendale, and in the next episode, we'll take a look at the sept. So I'll end the video here. Let me know in the comments what castles you would like me to explore, as I'm planning some more progresses. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chris the Archer, and I will see you in the next video.